facing forward toward the camera, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, see, for me, it looks like I'm like in the corner of my room. Like it looks
Oh
like I'm
yeah.
far as shit away.
We should be live.
Cheers, boys.
Look at this big old thing.
Cheers.
That's what I told her.
Oh, look at this big old thing.
Boom.
That's how we get started.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of big old things,
Oh god.
The Odyssey on 70 mm. No, we should not
I was
start
going to
there.
say the
Too
biggest
big.
movie of all of the year, the Minions
Well,
movie. Did anyone see the? No, dude.
The Minions.
the Minions was actually pretty good from
What's
what I
coming
heard.
out is Spider-Man's next, right?
Yeah, next Friday, not this Friday, but next.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Friday. I'll be out there.
Yeah, Spider Man, and then
Gotta represent.
yeah,
You do?
there's nothing like too big until Street Fighter after that, which is in October, I
Ooh.
believe.
You
It
Yeah,
consider
looks fire.
Street Fighter big?
I'm really looking forward to that Street Fighter movie. I think it looks incredible. Like it looks super campy and like all over the place, but it looks like they care. Like, and everybody who's involved in it, like, I don't know, man. I think it's gonna be great. It looks funny. Like the action looks good. I'm here for it.
I'm
Uh,
glad you said that, but my movie I think is gonna be way better is Avengers Doomsday, December 18th.
That
That's
trailer looked
that's
great.
yeah. It looks great, but that's almost like next year.
It's not though, it's the end of the year.
And
It's
isn't it? Did you guys see that Dune 3 is releasing on the same day?
Yeah, so they're trying to do well, not they, but like the audience. You know, like how when Oppenheimer and Barbie dropped, they were doing Barbenheimer.
yeah.
They're trying to do now for this. They're doing Doomsday. Like,
Doomsday.
Doomsday.
yeah,
Ah.
yeah. So
Do
do
you
a double header.
do you think they make more money doing that like theaters do? Because think about it. I mean, I guess people would go see one movie and then go jump to the other, right?
I mean, I feel like it's that classic nerds battle of like, Star Trek versus Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like it possibly is a pretty smart strategy, I guess. I don't recommend it, but hey, I'm not in that
I don't think
mindset.
so. I don't think it's even possible anymore. Like, first of all, the two movies are so big, they're probably gonna be sold out, like or close to. And now, whenever you get a ticket, you have to pay for your seat. So it's like wherever you sit, somebody's going to show up and be like, "Hey, you're in my seat." And then, like, and if enough people show up and you're in their seat, somebody's going to be like, "Hey, this guy, he doesn't even go here."
No, it's actually funny, but like I had an instance when I went to go see the Odyssey. The tickets were all like sold out, but for some reason, the entire like I'm like not in the middle, but I'm like a little bit on the corner of it. So like I think I had pretty good seats, but there was like a whole row of like people that nobody ever came, and the whole
Yeah.
time I'm just like, damn, if I knew earlier, I would have a little scooted.
So
But
that's what I did. I had like a little like in the middle, but like two seats to the right, and I was the only person in my row. And then like an hour and a half into the movie, I was like, nobody's showing up. So I got like smack dab in the middle of the theater, and I had like the screen to myself. It was nice.
yeah, yeah. So honestly, if I end up watching both Dune and Doomsday, I'll probably end up like just being like, where they at? Where they at? Like, let me go. But I'm not gonna lie, I don't give a fuck about Dune. I haven't even seen the first one or the second one.
Those are fantastic movies. Those are fantastic movies. The
Nope.
first one,
I
I
know
will
you.
say this: the first one, when I watched it the first time, it took me a little bit of time to kind of understand and wrap my head around what was going on. But then I watched it again because the second one came out, and I thought it was a great rewatch. Like I thought it was a fantastic movie the first time again. You know what I mean? Like, but it's real that the first one really drags out, but the second one is balls to the wall. I thought.
I think
I
that's
I
what
agree.
kind
might
of
be
felt the
missing
op.
for me. Like
Hmm?
the first time I watched it, I also felt like, man, I feel like I'm also almost studying for something. Like this is a
Mm-hmm.
lot of new information, a lot of moving pieces, and that's where I dropped off after that first one.
And apparently they try. I'm pretty sure they did try to do the movie in the early '80s, maybe the '70s or the '80s, and it went terribly. Apparently, it's an awful movie.
They did it. It's by David Lynch. Like
Yeah,
we've talked about him on the pod.
yeah,
One of my favorite directors, just like a great human being. God rest his soul. Like one of those people that just made weird movies. And like Dune is a weird concept. So
yeah.
like honestly, I think if we were to watch it now, like if they were to remaster it and like drop it like with better visual effects, I think it'll be a hit now. But like yeah, in
The
the
classic one?
'80s or I think it
Oh,
was the '80s when it came out. What's up?
you said the classic one?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
first one, the David Lynch one, like with Kyle McLaughlin or whatever his name is, like the guy that he always. It was basically like he was like the Martin Scorsese, and that was his Robert De Niro. Like, so that's why
Mm,
he's in like all his movies and stuff. But yeah, no, I think it would hit. I think it would hit harder now.
I don't know. Like for me, it's like I'm a Star Wars fan, and I know technically Star Wars was like inspired by Dune, or yeah, it was
Yeah,
like Dune
yeah.
inspired Star Wars to be Star Wars. But for me, I'm just like I don't know. I guess like since I grew up with only Star Wars and then randomly like trying to watch Dune, for me, I felt like it was super boring. Like I fell asleep in the first 20 minutes, and I literally walked out after that.
Austin
So
Butler is he the guy who plays
the sperm guy.
the sperm guy? Is that who's the big fat dude? The
Oh, Stellan
Jo-
Skarsgård.
so the like in the second movie, Manny, it's like they're on this planet and it's all black and white. And I don't know why it's like that, but they're in this giant like gladiator sort of thing.
Mm.
And you get introduced to Austin Butler's character, who I can't think of the family tree on how it is, but that scene, like him coming out and like seeing how that was it's phenomenal. It's a fantastic, they're both great so far.
I like him. I like him, and I like the director Denis Villeneuve, the French director. He's made a bunch of great like films. You guys have seen Arrival.
Yes.
Like he
Yes.
made Arrival,
Lita, you
Enemy,
haven't watched it?
Prisoners. What else? He's made some more stuff. He's gonna apparently he's gonna do the new James Bond.
He didn't make
For
Ex Machina, did he?
no that Ex Machina is Alex Garland, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
See, who needs a movie guy when you got
I
Rambo?
know. I know.
Who
On
needs
point. On
IMDb?
point. On point. But yeah, so for me, like I know for sure I'm more concerned about going to watch Doom. So Lita, what is your take on this? Who are you more excited for?
I think I am gonna, based on this conversation, give Dune
Doing another
another
try.
chance. Yeah, starting with the first one again, not jumping into the second one.
It's
Um,
trippy Star Wars, man. Like it's right up your alley.
So if I do
I,
some shrooms, you think I'll enjoy this?
I don't think
I
that's the
don't.
answer.
Game of Thrones Star Wars is what I put it as.
And literally like what's the spice like it's literally hallucinogens like that you take it and it makes you see shit, but it's also like a fuel system for like to travel inter like, bro, it's trippy as fuck. Like I think if you look at it through like if you go into it and you're like I'm about to watch a weird movie and then you watch it through that lens, you're like wait, this isn't as weird as I thought it was, but like it's great. Like it's
Yeah,
got some stuff.
I think I
I'll
was
give it
trying to
a try.
watch something that I can understand, and I couldn't understand.
And
Yeah.
that's the thing. Yeah, when you go into it, like go into it, and it's like literally, it's trippy Star Wars. So go into it and look at it through that lens, and then you're like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, yeah. So this place runs on like DMT, like, and if you take it, you hallucinate. But it can also fuel your like jet systems and lead to intergalactic travel, and like everyone's at war for this and whatever. And then there's this these religious priests and monks like of these women that like there's a prophecy and the chosen one and this guy thinks it's him, but it's no spoilers, but yeah.
Nobody
Okay.
wants to be in charge of running the planet that where it comes from. You know?
Because it puts a target on your back and
Everybody that runs that planet gets fucked over.
murked.
Oh, I'll check it out. I'll check it out. But so back to the topic at hand, Odyssey. Right. So as of right now, everyone's movie of the year, I could say.
I think so.
I will take it further. I think it could be movie of the decade. Fuck with me.
Okay.
Give me a better one. A better movie
Endgame,
this
but
decade since 2020.
Endgame.
It's better than Endgame. I don't know. I don't know if
Endgame was
Endgame.
2019.
Yeah, that was pre-COVID.
Yeah, Endgame
Oh,
was 2019.
And even if you
okay.
include it, I think this movie's better than Endgame. Like Endgame can't even
I like
stand
the
alone.
movie. Alone.
Oppenheimer, is it better than Oppenheimer? Like,
No,
I
Oppenheimer's
I
the
thought
king.
Oppenheimer was a really good movie in the sense, good history lesson. Obviously, filmed amazing. That was a good movie, but with Oppenheimer compared to the Odyssey, I thought it was just so long. Oppenheimer was, and I think the Odyssey's longer, but I felt like the entire time I watched the Odyssey, I wasn't pulled away from anything. Like there were some parts during Oppenheimer, I was like, all right, we have to include this. There was just some things, but the Odyssey I felt like was just bam, bam, bam. Kept me engaged the entire movie. I think
yeah.
that's what I do with
I
the audience nowadays.
I hated Oppenheimer. I fell asleep like two times watching it, and I think like the last maybe 45 minutes of the movie were amazing, but other than that, I'm
I'm I'm
like not worth it.
I'm starting to notice a trend. I think you're falling asleep in these movies. You might be getting a little too high, bud.
No, no,
Like,
it's funny, right? Because like I've never been the one to fall asleep during movies. I used to hate it when my dad would do it. But like as I became got older in my 30s, bro, if you don't catch my attention right away, I'm falling asleep in your fucking movie. But
So movie of the decade, maybe. I'm trying to think of what other movie, but like as we all know, I'm a huge Godzilla stan. Like
yeah, no,
Godzilla minus zero and minus one is
mm,
coming out this year as well. Godzilla minus zero, or no, is minus zero the one coming out? Yeah, right. Jamie, can you pull that up?
yeah.
Minus
minus one
zero.
two.
I think you're right.
It's minus one plus two.
Godzilla 4 times 8. Yeah.
But no, I like so that's my thing is that like there's been a lot of movies that like especially Sinners. Like for me, a
That was a great
generational
movie.
movie as of the 2020s, Sinners has got me by a
I
chokehold.
I have
You
to ask
know?
you, do you guys like the Godzillas that are like Kong? I love those. I
I
I
love
Yeah.
them all. I
Oh,
love
oh
them
my
all. I'm
God.
here for every single one. I love that we have
yeah,
a stupid Godzilla for America, and then we have like a deep meditation on,
yeah,
on Japanese
yeah.
culture. Like I love it. I love it all.
I feel like
Yes.
those movies are best. You know what they are? Those movies are like going to the fair or going to a carnival or to an
Yes.
amusement park. Like you're like, whoa, just the whole time.
You, you know what?
Yeah. It's like who's
I
Godzilla gonna punch?
Yeah.
look. They are great, and honestly, look, not to change the mood or anything, but I do gotta give a RIP to actually one of the actresses that was in those movies. Katie Hoddle, she was a deaf actress. Okay, she did die in a car crash. She was only 19.
Oh,
This was just yesterday. R.I.P. It sucked because she wanted to be in the next movie, from what they were reporting, and they didn't really report much, but it was just a car crash, from what I hear. But R.I.P. to her, the
Oh,
family.
rest in peace. That
We
sucks.
rest
got
Like
in
knowing
fans.
that,
We
peace.
got
and like
fans.
she was gonna be like a major part in like moving forward. Because in the last one, she was basically like the leader of that like under the Hollow Earth tribe of like these
Of the
like
people, yeah,
yeah, like, and she was like, she couldn't
preserving,
speak because she could talk to the Titans or whatever. Like,
yeah,
so it's gonna it sucks that like first of all, human death sucks. When a young person dies, that sucks, and then everything that follows it, like especially when you like basically are like the face of a franchise almost. Like crazy.
Yeah,
Rest in peace.
Yeah,
rest in
that's
peace.
terrible, man.
Yeah, man.
Um,
But
Mecha Godzilla was awesome.
yes.
That guy was crazy. When they remember when they get to that pit, remember it was like Millie Bobby Brown and the other guy. They're like, they're on that light rail thing and
Yes.
get
Oh
there,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
and they're like, oh, what's this? And they just hear the noise Mecha Godzilla made, where he was like, you know what I mean? That was
Yeah. I
And
love
how it saved the
I love
people
that
in the.
movie.
Oh no, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I love that movie. Like, and it was when Warner Brothers was drop. It was during COVID when Warner Brothers was dropping all their movies on HBO Max. Like, so
Oh
we
yeah.
got it all for free. The movie looked incredible, especially that the last fight scene at night in Japan. Yeah, in Japan with King Kong and Godzilla right before like
Oh
they
question
awakened
about
Mecha
that.
Godzilla.
yeah.
So remember the guy? He was controlling Mecha Godzilla, right? Like
Hmm.
they remember it was. I think he was like a Japanese guy.
Yeah, it was Ken Watanabe's character. It was his son.
Yeah.
Like the let them fight guy. Like it was his son who was rope.
Okay. So what happened to him? So like from my understanding, did Ghidorah like hijack Mecha Godzilla or like like from its brain or something? Like that's what I.
Yes, like yes and no, because like they fried the circuitry to try and stop it, which is what like fried his brain while he was like trying to cockpit it. So
Yeah.
I like unless they bring him back on some weird shit, like he died there. Like
Yeah.
unless
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he
they
died.
they wrecked some shit. But yeah, no, he dead. But they he was the only one that could control it because Ghidorah's like brain, like they said it was an alien, like so they couldn't treat it like an animal because like it didn't come from here, you know. So he was the only one that could do it, and even he couldn't really do it that well. And then when they fried his brain, he was off the rails. The Mecha Godzilla, anyways.
Yeah.
I had the interpretation that it was Ghidorah's like cells in his brain that took over the Mecha Godzilla because it like when you see like Mecha Godzilla fight Godzilla, there's like this kind of laugh that he has when he's fighting him. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, I do
yeah.
remember that. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
that's
I
what
do.
I thought. I was like, that's Ghidorah that hijacked Mecha Godzilla's like body. Like he was like, get rid of this Japanese guy, zapped him out. And Ghidorah's like, because remember, the dude was sitting in Ghidorah's skull. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So I don't know. I was like something there.
The
I
only
can't.
laugh I remember is when they were fighting at night, like after like Godzilla like tail slaps King Kong into a few buildings, like and the camera pans to Godzilla. He's like,
Oh yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah,
the only
yeah.
laugh I remember. And it's just like, why does Godzilla laugh? Like they made Godzilla a villain in that movie.
So,
Yeah.
so, so it's funny, how like they've been able to play so well with the fact that like you can tell the emotions that come from Godzilla, that it like, not to bring back the Odyssey, but I really love that scene with the Cyclops because like right when they show the Cyclops coming in, right, it like closes the door, and like that pitch black scene, like the whole time I still felt like they were like, it wasn't that like, oh, something just disappeared. Like it was there. You can like tell that it was like a little smart, from like it was doing, and you could tell the emotion, how they were saying that like when they stabbed it, they were like, oh, like you could hear it like talking to the gods, that it was like a demigod or something like that. I thought like the way it looked, like I know people were bashing of how like the scenes looked from like the old classic movie, that it was like they had like a little like movie magic, and they're saying that it was too AI in this or whatever. I thought it looked great. It was terrifying, and the whole time I'm just like, oh fuck, like this thing looks like it could have been real.
It was real.
Yeah,
Like it wasn't CGI. Like it was a.
a
Did you
puppet.
guys see the
Yeah,
behind the scenes? It was like a huge puppet.
Yes,
yeah, yeah.
60-foot animatronic puppet.
Yeah, like
Like,
crazy. Christopher Nolan's like he's not anti CGI, but he won't use it if he doesn't have to, you know. So like for this, they just made like a 60-foot animatronic puppet. Like,
Makes
so,
sense.
cool as shit. It was cool as shit. And I like the way they made him look. It wasn't like a perfect Cyclops. Like, his face was like whole, like on a slant. Like,
It was
it
like
was good.
indented right here. Did you guys like see that? Like the top right, it was like inward.
Yes, and
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he blinked at an angle because his eye and his nose were like not
yeah.
like
So
centered. Like,
here's a
yeah,
good question
crazy.
I have for you guys. Do you guys like? Do you guys? Did you guys? So in high school, I read the Odyssey. I remembered a few bits
I think
and
somebody
pieces
did here.
from it. So the one thing there were two things I remembered: the Cyclops and the axe thing that he shot the arrow through. I remembered that,
Mm.
but there was a couple other things, obviously in the movie that happened that I didn't really remember that were there. But there was one scene in the movie that I thought was super cool. And it's the scene where they're on the beach and they're about to invade Troy. I don't know if you guys caught this. There was like a slight glimpse of Achilles, like standing on the edge, about to like press the attack on the beach there. I thought that was really neat.
No, I
Yeah,
didn't even
No, I
catch
gotta
that.
watch it again and see that.
yeah. There was I think it was Odysseus was sitting there. Who was the guy? I can't think of his name. The guy that plays the Punisher.
Uh,
John Bernthal,
John
Yeah,
Bernthal.
they're
Menelaus.
talking on the beach, and he points up, and he's like, he says Achilles' name, I'm pretty sure, and Achilles is standing there in almost the exact identical armor that Brad Pitt wore when he played him,
Damn.
which,
I got it on.
which I
And
thought was really
so we
cool.
talked about this in our text, but like Christopher Nolan was supposed to direct Troy. So
Mhm.
like when obviously he's got like free range to direct whatever he wants. So when he said he was going to do the Odyssey, everybody's like, why would he do the Odyssey? And it's basically because like he kind of like regrets that he wasn't able to do this for whatever reason. So he made like a sequel to it, like spiritually. Like it's not actually the sequel, but like it kind of is. Like it kind of builds off of like what happens in this in its own way. Like I thought it was great. I so we were texting about it. Um, John Bernthal, the dude who plays Menelaus, I loved. Like everybody showed up to this movie. Like he only got like a few scenes, and I'm not like the biggest fan of John Bernthal, but I think he ate up like every scene
I
he was
love
in.
him. He's great.
I
He's great.
yeah, I really liked him. I really liked him in this movie. I like what they did with Helen. Like I don't know, like the because at the end of this movie, like nobody knows what happens to anybody, but like the fact that like they got her back, in the Odyssey, in Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, like she goes back to wherever Menelaus is the king of, like he fucked her face up. She has a twin sister who is married to Agamemnon, and she killed like that little scene where they're like, "Oh, Agamemnon sacrificed his daughter for favorable winds." Like, and apparently that little scene, that little line, like was building momentum, and then like it ends up being like what kills him. He went to war for 10 years to take Troy, and like literally, like he got bathed, like she rubbed his feet and fucking like her and her lover just killed him for killing their daughter. Like, oh my god,
Yeah,
incredible, bro.
it's
Agamemnon was aura farming that whole fucking movie, dude.
So good.
Yeah, it
The
was.
only
no,
scenes
it's
he was in, dude, holy shit. And did you guys notice that like gold spine sort of thing he had on the back
yeah,
of
Yeah,
his?
yeah.
Holy shit, that is like that for one, amazing costume design. But every time, and remember when they bust into Troy, he's just standing there, and all those dudes are running by him. I was like, oh man, dude.
I was calling it. I was calling it. He had his Piccolo moment from Dragon Ball Z, just pure aura farming. And it's funny because that whole time, like when that scene about the beach scene, and he comes up, I was even like, "Whoa, what happened to you?" I'm like, the last thing we saw you was running into Troy, and like I forgot, like I forgot everything. So I'm thinking like, where's the fight scene? Where's all this? Let me see what's going on.
the thing is like because like Christopher Nolan was dropping tidbits like when they get to like Menelaus and Helen keeps talking out of turn and Menelaus is like shut up like and like he doesn't let her finish, so you know something happened, and then when he shows up it's like Oh, he was like, bro. I love the way he tells stories, like how it's all out of order, but like if you pay enough attention, like you can piece it together along the way, and then like when he finally does like bring it together for you, it's just
Yeah.
it ah
There's certain scenes that Christopher Nolan does in his movies that keep popping in and out. For example, like the sunset scene, like there was a certain scene on a boat that he did probably like two or three times during the whole movie. And those are the scenes that you have to remember because typically towards the end, that's where they're going to be heading. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
you know
Oh,
that,
and
the like the boat
similarly,
scene.
there was the scene, and it caught my eye because I'm like, why are they showing this like boring 2 second clip over and over again of him in Troy looking towards the fire? Like they showed it at the very beginning, they showed it when he was trying to remember, and they showed it a few times, and it ends up being like one of the biggest twists of all time, like revealing
yeah.
Athena's identity. Like,
that
If it's even Athena or if it's just his head, like that's who he sees because they killed that girl, Zendaya. Like they killed that girl who was Zendaya. Like when they ransacked Athena's temple. So in his head, is that Athena or is it just like the guilt of like is it survivor's guilt? You
well,
know?
I'm pretty sure in the book she does follow him around.
yeah, and that's the thing. In the books, he
Yeah,
actually talks to all the gods, and they
yeah.
really that almost makes it lean to like the fact that it's his guilty conscience because he didn't talk to any of the gods this time
Except for
except for
one,
her.
and
Yeah,
that's exactly so. That's like what's crazy. So it's incredible storytelling, bro. I loved
Yeah,
it.
no,
Loved
and
it.
so and that's why like I brought up the whole Cyclops scene. So Christopher Nolan clearly knows how to paint a picture. He knows how to get to that, like to really get you drawn in. So imagine Christopher Nolan making a Godzilla movie, where like almost like minus one, but I feel like he can really bring out like, come on, you can't tell me like he. I don't. I feel like he can make the crazy, scary scenes of like where Godzilla isn't always shown as like just the big lizard or whatever, but like
He
really strike fear into it. How like minus one really did.
he can make anything great, but like I just don't think he ever will because like then there has to be like a CGI spectacle, which isn't really like his thing. I think what he's gonna do next, like, and you heard it here first, a horror movie, like a low
No, yeah,
budget
that's
horror
what they
movie.
were saying.
Like he kind of flirted with it two times in this movie with the Cyclops scene and then the scene on Cersei's island where she's like the body horror shit and like turning the guys into pigs.
That
Like
scared the shit out of me. That was scary. Like that
Yeah,
that was actually, I saw it with my buddy and we both looked at each other. We were like, what the hell is going on? And then remember the bird that was in the cage?
was her
That
her
was
sister.
sister.
Yeah,
was it the Cersei's sister, right?
Mm-hmm. Her
Yeah,
sister.
like that's a horror
yeah,
movie right there of its own. People get
yeah,
trapped on an island where she's doing that.
yeah. Or even just a body horror because he like the way that he was doing it, where it was kind of like hard to watch, but at the same time it wasn't. Because like I hate like I actually love and hate body horror. So like for me, it's like there's a good fine line of where I can watch it, where like in the beginning of it when they start eating, I can already tell. I'm like, why are they eating like so crazy? And they're not
Yeah.
even talking. And I was like, oh, something's wrong. And I was like thinking about it before that moment. I'm like, okay, we saw Cyclops. If I'm coming in like nothing of however they're gonna do it, I'm thinking it's like, oh, this has to be a witch or something with like the food. And then when they show Matt Damon like shooting the pig, and it becomes a guy. The whole time I was just like, oh my god, they're eating themselves, or they're about to get eaten themselves. Like like whatever was going on, and like the fact that they played so well with the mythical things besides the Cyclops, I think was really good. Like the way that the witch, like you truly don't know if she was a witch or he was just like hallucinating. How we're saying, even with the sirens when they were there, like you couldn't really tell they were sirens, but
Mm.
like if anyone like maybe you're just having a mental crash out, like how we were saying. But like the way that he did it, amazing.
well, that's the thing. Like having read it, and like one thing I hate in movies is predictability. Like a movie loses me as soon as I know what's coming next. If I know what's coming next, I'm done and I'm out of it. But I read this story back in high school, and I saw the 2-part movie series that was like it followed like all the same major beats, and
Yeah.
still I was like so engaged in this movie, like still knowing like okay, this is probably oh, they're eating, okay, this is seriously like the Cyclops is coming, and I was expecting like the Cyclops siblings to show up. There was like a lot of expectations that I had, that like even knowing what's coming next, like he still did a great job taking us through the story.
Yeah, I
Who
think he
were
did
the
a.
big giant guys in the
It
armor?
was
That's what I forgot. I that totally left my mind when they arrived at the island. And remember, it's the guys. They're in that decked out armor. They're just slaying through them. I don't remember that in the story.
Yeah,
so. What I
I
remember they were saying is that like they were technically like the giants, and they were the army of the entrance of I think it was what Olympus at the time or something. Like they
Yeah.
were trying to make it a point that like it was the holy land that they couldn't get in to, and that's why those giants just automatically just started killing. And that I forgot who they were saying, but the little girl who started screaming was basically they were trying to say like it's like not a siren, or I forgot what the mythical is, but it's like something that just like opens their mouth, and it's like supposed to be the alarm of it.
A banshee.
A banshee, there he is. So it was supposed to be a banshee of like the warning sign, because that's how they use like in the Olympus or whatever, of like those times that like that was the alarm when you needed to let other like areas or comrades know that they were getting invaded or something happening.
Mm, okay. I
Yeah,
mean,
but I thought that scene was crazy because I was
the
just like,
only the
fuck
only other
around and find
thing
out.
the only other thing that I think was, but this again, this goes back to Rambo's point where Christopher Nolan is not a CGI guy. He's not a, magic sort of, he's a very realistic kind of guy. The one thing that they did leave out was the bag of wind, which was in the story. I mean, that's a huge part
Mm.
of, and that's what goes to show as well. I saw this comment last night when I was watching a YouTube video where it was like Odysseus was, a project manager for one of the worst group of guys for 10 years because they just kept doing shit that he should, he was like, donate the cattle, and they're like, he comes walking across the sand.
I actually like that scene. I actually like
I
that
did too.
scene because like it comes after like so the whole time you're like teetering on like is Odysseus like a good captain? Is he not? Like the whole scene with the Cyclops, like they could have all made it out like since he was blind and like and then like he just had to like get one last licking.
Yeah,
And then it cost him a few men. And then like the whole scene when they didn't want to like embark where was it, did the giants come before Cersei, because like they had like their whole mutiny after yeah, it had to be like they had
Yeah.
their whole mutiny
Oh,
after
yeah.
the giants, and then they were like no, you stay with the boat. When they got to Cersei, when he was the only one that like put two and two together, he's like oh shit, and saved them and had her turn them back. Like I don't know. And then like literally he kept the information about the what is the basilisk? What's the name of
well, and
that
and
creature?
that's what shows that he's both a good manager and a bad manager. He was a bad captain and a good
yeah,
captain because he kept getting them into shit, but he knew that the only way to save them from the basilisk was to force the mutiny real quick. Like, hey, let's go
Yeah,
directly
exactly. And
into
have
death.
them like mhm.
Yeah, he was just like, let's go directly into death. And he's like, no, we're not, we're going to go this way. And it's like, okay, your call.
Yeah, literally. It's like we either all die here or six of us die here. And he's like, oh, let's all go here. And they're like, no, what are you saying? We'll go there. So like, and then they got mad at him. It's like, oh, you knew? It's like, bitch, I would have killed us.
look, like how
I
mad
would have here.
But
I
he
can't
he
imagine
wasn't
how
he wasn't
mad
trying to actually go into the whirlpool. Like
No,
he
no,
just
he
couldn't
wasn't.
make
But
the
it like
decision, or he would have gotten turned on even more.
yes. So that's what it was. Like it had to be their choice. Like
Yeah.
for him, anyways. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't like like they have to choose it. Like no, it was just like for him to sleep better at night. Like it was like nah, I chose all of us dying. Like you chose six. Like I don't know. So good, so
I
fucking good.
couldn't I couldn't imagine how mad I'd be though. Like if Odysseus was my captain and I had just escaped the Cyclops, ran away from a bunch of damn other giant guys that were trying to eat me, and then get turned into a pig. I'd be like, dude, I'm like, you're good. Why do you keep leading me to these fucking
But it wasn't his fault. So all right. We need to talk about other topics, but like before we get off of the Odyssey, what did you guys think about like Zeus's law? Because it was like the main through line of the whole movie, and like the reason that they were like cursed is because Odysseus basically like spit on the tradition, and like with the Trojan horse that he like machinated in his head, like he spit on like hospitality and used it to like murder like an entire city, and like as he said, like they opened the gates and 10 years of like rage like consumed the city or whatever it was. Like I really like that, like because it like I don't know, like I love Troy, but it didn't touch on like the philosophical like aspects of the time, like, and I really like that. What did you guys think?
I thought that it was a weird coincidence how okay, so what were they? Who were the guys trying to marry
The suitors.
the suitors? I put something in my head together. I was like, what if the same amount of suitors? Hey, Henny, how are you? What if what if the same amount of suitors that were in Ithaca were the same amount of suitors that were in the Trojan horse? Like, and that was something that Zeus had done to Odysseus to be like, this is what you get. You know what I mean? Thank you. Yeah.
Golf clap,
I know.
golf clap. That if like somebody on YouTube is probably gonna break that down and count how many people were in that, and then see how many.
Yeah. That's what I thought. I was like, because the amount of guys that were in there, that looks like the same amount of guys that would have been in the Trojan horse. And
Five guys.
yeah. But I that's what I thought in my head. I was like, there's all these dudes, like essentially they're the Trojan horse inside of Ithaca, feasting and doing whatever, waiting for his woman. Just
Yeah.
and essentially that's exactly what Odysseus did. Busted in there, had his guys in the Trojan horse.
Yeah.
So,
Manny's, what did you guys think?
Yeah, I thought Zeus's law had less to do with it than just the fact of being like an imperfect man. So Zeus's law never really stood a chance. Like, uh, like we were talking about him being a good captain and a bad captain. Both instances come from hubris. Like, I believe this is what we should do. I believe this is right. I believe I know better than the gods. I believe like whatever. And in this version of the movie, the gods weren't really with him. Like in the story, he had Hermes along all throughout the story, kind of guiding him and giving him tips. So like if anything, there's like some blame to be shared there. Here, all the blame kind of falls on him. And yeah, you could say that he's cursed because of what he did with the Trojan horse. But what they did at every stop after that had nothing to do with the horse. Those were their choices. Like,
Mhm.
so they repeatedly broke Zeus's law. And like, even if they didn't, if they would have just won the war in Troy, like, there's no one saying that, like, on the way back, they wouldn't have taken the same route and violated in the same ways. Like, so man continuing to violate is like, that's not a curse. That's choices.
And like they keep mentioning throughout the movie is like the people of the sea, like the
They
people of the
are the
sea
people of the
showing up,
sea.
and at the end of the day, they're like, who are the people of the sea? And it was them the whole time. Like you kept showing up, and
No.
like, like pillaging, like
And doing
incredible,
horrors. Yeah. So it's like, were they
incredible,
cursed
right?
or were they doing the cursing?
I don't
Yeah.
know if you guys are history nerds, but that was an actual thing. Like
Hmm.
the
Yeah.
sea people, I think they invaded the Egyptians. I can't remember exactly who it was, but they thought, or I'm saying they as in like, historians attributed them to like maybe people of Atlantis. You know what I mean?
Whoa.
The sea
I,
people. Yeah.
I thought you meant like, did you guys know raping and pillaging was a thing in history? I was like, oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know the sea people were real. What
Oh
the
yeah.
hell?
But it could be the same thing. It could just be like travelers that like needed supplies and like they were just not in the mood to bargain or had anything to bargain with. They were just like, no, we're just gonna get there, show up, take what we need, and get gone. You know?
Yeah, it's kind of funny because like the way I saw more of like the Zeus's law, I thought of a lot because like, you know me and my conspiracy theories. I thought a lot of like how it kind of is relevant to what's going on now, where like we live in a time where there's a lot of like so-called satanic rituals, people being blackballed for praying to like God or Christ or anything like that. And so like for me, it's like a fundamental thing where they're basically just saying it's like do good to others as you want them to be good to you. And it was something that like in the beginning of the movie it was shown that like you never know if this is going to be Zeus or not. And it's not even if he is Zeus or not, it's the fact that like we're trying to welcome people who are visitors as you should, the same way you want to be welcomed when you're going to new places. So it's funny how when in the beginning the senators was like, oh, this is what my dad put into place, that this is something we like honor people who are coming in, and all the senators are like, no, like why would you help this homeless guy or whatever. And for like the ending, or like for me, like the big reveal that his father is still alive came through him looking at the dog and the dog only reacting to his rightful owner. So like in a way it kind of shows us that like with our times now is that people, there's always good and there's bad people, and sometimes you just don't know. It's just the actions that you're doing. And I feel like one thing that the movie showed is that like there are consequences for the things that you decide to do, even if it is for the greater good. It doesn't mean that like your conscience is still wiped away, because if there is anything that was shown throughout the movie was how everybody lived with the consequences of, yes, we won the war, but how like in Thanos in the Marvel movies, at what cost, like
You know,
what's his name, armor whatever, the
Agamemnon.
Piccolo.
act much.
Yeah, Piccolo basically
Piccolo.
sacrificing his kid. It showed that like when he got home, he was murdered. Some of the captains never made it home. That was one thing that they mentioned a lot in the movies, of how like they were just hoping to get back home. And like we brought up of the fact that like uh was this guy a good captain or not? But in reality, it was like, think about it. These men were with him for at least 20 years, and for those 20 years he led them literally for them to win the war, for them to just be like, okay, now we got to do is just the home stretch, let's get home. So like I understand where like in the beginning where they're kind of questioning him after, especially after that bow with the Cyclops, like why'd you do that. And then in a way that he like when he's narrating the life, he's talking about how like they, I could see why they would see I am the cause of this attack or whatever. But in reality, how like you kind of see in a big reveal still at the end, that it could be all like like his way of mentally processing everything that happened between the war and him getting home. Like they said, it's another what they were in war for 20 years, and then it took another 10 years or something, or was it like
10
10 and
and
10?
10.
Okay,
10 and
10 and
10.
10. Yeah. So like just think about that. The fact that like for me, one of the craziest scenes that I didn't think was gonna affect me was actually when um the son is meeting his father, like realizing with the dog, and like y'all know me, I ain't talking to my daddy. That scene made me think of like, oh shit, maybe I should call this guy. But then I was like, no, it's a movie. But no, but like I didn't like, it's a beautiful scene, and that's what I was saying is that like if you think about it now with Zeus's law, it's like, are we all truly doing that nowadays? Because in reality, we're living those, what we were just projected and shown, that's what we're like kind of living in our nowadays. Are we making the right decisions? Are we doing the things? And like that's one thing I really loved about the movie, was that even though it was like mythical things going on, or like it could have been mental stuff. For me, it was like I connected in all three dots of how everything was, and I think it was a great movie.
Yeah, and it covers the hubris of man. Like the Cyclops
Yeah.
scene isn't the first time that he messes it up for everyone. Like
Oh yeah.
Calypso consistently talks to him while he's on the island with her, saying like, "Oh, you don't want to go home. You didn't even want to go home. Like you didn't want to remember until now." And when you look at it, from the very second they were leaving Troy, he could have made it home at the same time as Agamemnon, and he would have been safe. He didn't have the same fate waiting for him as Agamemnon. He didn't sacrifice a child. He would have been home years ago, and he said, "Nah, they got too many mouths to feed. We'll go our own way." Like that's his own hubris, and that's what like led to the other 2.5 hours.
So, excuse me. So what I think about that is PTSD. Like, first of all, he was the orchestrator of the slaughter of an entire like city state. Like,
Yeah.
so literally the PTSD, like all of it, the Zeus's law was weighing on him so much, and it's literally like a war veteran. It's just like I can't go back home. I'm not the same man I left. So,
Yeah.
and
And
that's the whole scene with Calypso. Like to me, like, and speaking of which, I'm not a huge Charlize Theron fan, and I think she was great in this movie. There were so many people in this movie that just did so great. Charlize
she's so
Theron,
great.
John
She's so fun.
Leguizamo, Robert Pattinson.
No,
Uh,
no. I thought no. Robert Pattinson
What?
gets a big F.
No,
Because
What?
I
He
thought
played the part
like
perfectly.
the scene. All right, the scene where they're when it's all coming down. He dong rings the bow and everything like that, and Homeboy's dropping the spears and the shields and everything down. All Robert Pattinson was doing, get him, get him, get him, get
yeah,
him, get him.
well,
But like
wait a
that's
minute,
the
but
Like,
move.
like, like,
that's his
that's true.
character.
That's
yeah,
true to
I know,
character.
yeah.
At the very
That is
beginning, he's like, "I'm
yeah,
not going to war. I'm going to steal
yeah,
people's valor. I'm going to say for
yeah.
the last 10 years that I volunteered, but
That's a
I
good.
was I was
That's a
never
good.
going to go." So it was very on brand. Like if he would have picked up and
Yeah.
started
No,
being a
Okay.
killer,
Yeah.
I would have been
Dude,
like, who's this Batman
I was
ass?"
all I could thought. I was like, this is fucking Batman. I was like, this is
He's not my
so
Batman. And
this is
speaking
not
of
my
which,
Batman.
Rambo said he wasn't sure why Christopher Nolan didn't pick up Troy. Warner Brothers moved him to Batman.
so that was his consolation prize. Like
That's
the
not a
dude who directed,
consolation prize, dude. That's a dub.
well, with the
That's
benefit of
gold,
hindsight, yeah. Like
bro.
you know who had just directed the Batman movies? Not to get off topic, Joel Schumacher, when Batman had nipples and shit. So it wasn't like it wasn't
It wasn't a guaranteed win.
it wasn't a hot commodity at the time. Like,
Nipples.
yeah, they pulled him off the bench so Wolfgang Peterson could direct Troy, and then they gave him the Batman Begins.
That reminds me of a Family Guy with Peter, and he's like, "Side boob hour. You like this side boob? Why? Because this is my side boob."
Well,
Yeah.
you
He's like,
shouldn't,
"Put
because
nipples
that's
on."
The
my
nipples
side
I
or
boob.
the
promise.
credit card. Remember where they at the auction and it's just like, oh, the Bat card. I never leave the cave without it. What the
Yeah.
fuck?
I
Is that the
promise. I
same one
promise.
that they had ice
Oh,
skates?
I think so.
The,
That was
Tail.
the last one before. Yeah, Batman and Robin was the last one before Batman Begins.
I know that you guys are trying to move off this topic, but I have one more thing to say. Is the
We don't have to, but
okay
before we continue, we do not have to get off the topic. If we all have more to say, we can continue on. Like,
the
Okay.
vast difference of Agamemnon. Am I saying that right? Agamemnon.
Piccolo.
Agamemnon.
Piccolo.
Agamemnon. Agamemnon. The vast difference between Agamemnon in Troy versus the Odyssey is completely different. I mean, he's like a fat ass oaf who's just he's got his power, he has everything he needs, and what is it? Sparta, the guy I can't think of his name. Helen was Helen of Sparta, and she was taken by
Paris.
there you go. And that's what caused the whole thing. But in the movie in Troy, that's like he's wanted to go after Troy forever. But unfortunately his brother had broke bread with them. and he was kind of pissed off about him for that. Remember?
They mentioned that in this movie, though, that like
Very
the
quickly, yeah.
reason to go to war was because of Helen, but they're like, no, it's all about Agamemnon. He wants, it was the trade route. Like
Yes. Yeah.
Troy was on the way. Like they mentioned it, but like it was a
And
small line.
yes, and in Troy, remember he wanted to control the Aegean Sea. That
Mm-hmm.
was his main. That
Yeah.
was his whole end game. Was he just wanted to have full control over the sea there? I
Yeah.
just thought the differences in those two, in the movie. I mean, in Troy, he's like he's like drinking wine, he's eating in his tent, like he's hanging out. But in the Odyssey, this guy's like I said, he's ora farming. He's like, you're
Yeah.
like holy shit, I mean.
I love both takes. I love that he doesn't really speak much, and then like, and it all like flows with the theme of everything in Odyssey when like he meets him at in the underworld or whatever, and he's like, don't do what I did. Don't show up. Like come in disguise. Like feel your way out. Like I love that, and that's the only line that he speaks in the movie.
Yeah.
Like I love that and that it's like almost it's you can kind of hear the pain in his voice too when he's saying it like he's dead, like he went to war for this and he thought like he was doing things the right way, and it was just like the hubris of man, like how Manny said.
What do
Like,
you think about this, though? Remember, he was killed naked, but in the underworld, he is in his armor. So I haven't been able to think about that. You know what I mean? Because a lot of the guys that were in the underworld, they were all under command of Odysseus that had died there. So I just, I'm wondering if that's something maybe, I don't know if there's symbolic meaning
I
behind it.
mean, from what I think it was more like of when Odysseus is seeing them. He's seeing them from the very last time he saw them. It wasn't exactly
Mm,
like that's how they
oh,
looked. I
that's a
think
good.
it's more of like how he last saw them. Because if you remember, the last thing he does see them, he even says it, is when he's giving him the hug on the beach, and they're all leaving. That's the last time he sees most of them,
that's a good
and
point.
I think that's how. Because even who's the guy, Senon, I think it was Senon.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, he looks like him before he gets like hurt and all that stuff. And like if they were going by that, like I know what you mean. Like yeah, he would have been in that same outfit, but it was the outfit of right before he saw him. And like how he even says that Odysseus was technically right next to him when it happened. So he was like, I could picture of how much he looks. So like when he's spitting out blood, it's because he could tell, like he knows who he is, and he could tell from when the spear hit that it was like, yeah, he's probably dying or he's probably bleeding in this way, you know?
But on that note, like if he's only seeing them the way he remembers them, that leads even more into the fact that none of that was real. That was all like in his
No,
head.
yeah, no, well, that's what I'm saying. That's why
That's
it kind of like
wild.
plays very
That,
well with
The
it.
only thing this movie fumbled on was no Achilles. No Achilles. Like imagine
Well,
Achilles being in the underworld. Like that is the only thing that because in the Odyssey, Achilles is the one that cuts off the statue's head. I can't remember what was the statue.
Apollo.
Apollo. Yes, like that was in the
If
Odyssey.
anybody needs a name, just let me know. I
Yeah,
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 I was gonna say
yeah. You're doing
this is why we
great.
have Rambo.
You're doing fantastic, man. You're like my dictionary here. But that is my only thing about the movie that and like I told you guys, there was one brief glimpse of Achilles. There was one shot they had of him standing on the beach, and his what was it, the merman? I think
The Myrmidons.
there you
The
go.
Myrmidons.
In
Yeah.
his armor that we saw, and I could be wrong, but that looked smack like it from Troy. At least I thought.
I have to check it out. But like so it's funny, I was actually just talking to my sister about this today. Like I had just watched Troy again recently. One of my favorite movies of all time. And it came out when I was younger. And like when I was watching it recently, I was like, oh, is this what I thought a man was? Like it came so young that I was like, oh, that's what a man is, and that's what I need to strive to be. And like I went on Chat GPT and I was just like, is this normal? Is it normal for like young men to see like a grown man and be like emulate like what you think a man is? And apparently it is. So I feel like we all might have like different answers to this. But like to your point, um, I kind of like that they didn't include him because I don't think they could have topped this. Like because he doesn't play a big part in anything. So whoever they would have cast would have had real big shoes to fill. And I feel like the fact that the Odyssey is kind of like a faint echo off of Troy. Like you can still kind of like have this be your Achilles, and he died and whatever, and then like the story continued. I love that. Like it's like a addition by subtraction. Like and I'm here for it.
Well, and what they did was really replacement, right? Because they didn't show the war inside of Troy as much. They showed like, okay, we came through the doors, we fought off the like initial infantrymen that came through, and then you don't really see what goes on until the
Mhm.
end. You see like, yeah, we ran the streets like the 10 years of rage in a night kind of situation, but they stayed away from a lot of that violence, which allowed them to like not feature Achilles as much.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely incredible, guys. Are we done on the topic
Nope,
before?
nope,
No, we're
nope,
not. We're gonna keep
nope.
talking about it.
Nobody has ever done that take on the Trojan horse. Like not just the beach thing, but just like when Barenthal says to him, when Menelaus says to him, "Oh, you heard the song? Have you heard it from inside?" I was like,
Mhm.
no, 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 no.
Yeah. But and then like the fact like everybody's always like why the fuck would they have brought the horse in like which is the like what I always hear I'm a huge Greek mythology buff so like I do my research as you may can tell like but like everybody's like oh who would have brought that thing in and then like they showed like no they stabbed that bitch they were trying to make sure nobody was in it and then like they did get somebody and Odysseus like wiped the blade clean so there was no blood when they pulled it out so like they had no reason to believe there was anything in it.
That was a super strong scene. When I saw him catch it with his cloth or whatever, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
that now we're talking. Cause yeah, never before did we hear about like, okay, yeah, they're gonna check the horse. Like they every story is like, oh yeah, they just brought the horse in. These people are like,
Mm-hmm.
no, we know TSA, bomb, bomb, bomb. Okay, got one. Clean it up. They'll be none the wiser. And going back before the stabbing, when he's like, the first two tides killed many men,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah,
Men drowned. They were sitting in their own piss and shit. Like, bruh,
yeah.
crazy.
No, and I think that scene is really crazy because of the fact that, like, by history, we've always saw it as like, oh, it was on wheels, it went in, they were able to push it. This one really showed how, like, there were slaves at the time. They had to literally manually pull everything. And like the whole time I was thinking was like, yo, how are you gonna just pull that on the sand? And I like, the fact that they put like the logs, it was
The
like you could
log so I
tell
could
like there
roll.
was real, like that's how they used to move things, in those times. So
Mm-hmm.
like they clearly did their research.
It
Red
wasn't
Bull
on
does.
fucking wheels like it, people thought.
Yeah. Imagine
Yeah,
they're
no,
like,
yeah.
first we're gonna
That would have
reinvent the
been way
wheel.
too suspicious. Imagine like, I try to break in your house and, then I'm like, all right. And I leave something with fucking wheels, the size of 20 dudes outside your house. You're like, all right, like, what's this guy up
What's going on here?
to?
Let me bring this in and then I'll find out.
Yeah. Roll it
Bro,
around. Yeah.
a scene that gave me chills when I watched it was when they're on the Trojan Wall and they drop the like lantern and then
Oh
like it
yeah,
hits the floor and you see all the men. Like I don't know why that shit sat with me as long as it did because I was like, oh, they're fucked.
Yeah. And yeah.
I've read this story a million times. I've seen the movie. I know what happens. And then as soon as I saw all the men, I was like, oh no.
And
yeah,
fucking Captain Aura Farmer is standing in the middle of them all, just right
But they
there.
hadn't shown that yet. Like they just showed
Yeah.
like all the men at that point, just like the flicker, and you see a
Yeah.
ton of dudes. And then like
yeah,
it isn't until the door opens and all you see is Agamemnon in his armor. And then the drove of men comes like rushing beside it, bro. Incredible.
yeah.
And
Talk
and
about
they,
like
and they
chills.
ask Agamemnon, "You gonna do anything?" He's like, "No, I'm collecting points."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and
I'm
it's
just
funny
here for
with
the
the
cameras.
chills. Like when it comes to the chills, like I really go back to that beach scene. Because even that conversation when he's having with Odysseus and Sinon, when he was like, "You could have told me that you guys were in the thing," and all that stuff. Like to me, I was just like, bro, that's like heartbreaking. Like if he's really having this conversation, like how are you supposed to tell him, like, yeah, I could have told you, but I didn't to make sure like you can sell this. And he was like, brother, I was gonna die for you no matter what. Like you could have said something to me that was just like, bro, it was just like one deep cut after another deep cut after like another, and it's like, bro, like that scene really emoted me.
Compartmentalization, man. And I get it. Like as a manager in work, there's stuff that you can't tell certain like employees or whatever, and it's just like some stuff you gotta hold to the chest, and like you know where it's gonna end, and it was just like ah. But I was like, would it have mattered if he knew there were men in there? Like he could have said the exact same thing. He
No,
wouldn't have known.
I think
But
so.
also he could have compromised it
He
too if
wouldn't
he
have
didn't
sold it.
trust him.
He wouldn't have sold it as well. He wouldn't have.
Or he could have been like, "Oh, don't kill me. There's men in here." Like, and you don't know that. So
True.
you get me?
I feel like that he wouldn't have sold it. He like there needs to be. I mean, think about this. If it's your fucking city that you're defending and you're riding down and you see this big old horse sticking out of the water and there's one guy sitting there and because didn't they throw spears and shit at him immediately?
No.
I mean, think about
One spear and several arrows.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, right there, somebody's gonna fold. I think anybody would fold right there. But he said no. That's the reason why he didn't tell him.
Yeah.
Was that exact reason. The other scene, if we're talking about ore farming, was the scene from Troy when the Trojans fight back against the Greeks. Remember when they rolled those huge fireball bales at them in the morning and they're burning their ships and shit? Here you go, Rambo. I need you. Who's the guy Here's the guy that played Ned Stark that was in Troy.
Sean Bean.
Sean Bean. When Sean Bean is standing on the beach and all the soldiers are lining up, God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rambo.
There's my
without you.
right back there. When Sean Bean is standing on the beach and all of his guys they're all waking up still. They were drinking and partying the night before, and the Trojans are all right there. And remember, Hector's standing there. All their shit's on fire. That's yeah.
They're smacking their spears on their shields.
Oh yeah, that was a good scene.
Oh man. Let's rate it out of 10. Odyssey, I mean.
11.
11, about 11.
About 11.
I give it a very strong 10.
A very strong 10. Brandon?
Yeah.
I think a 9.2.
Okay.
9.2.
Talk us through your deductions.
I felt like the beginning, was very chaotic. That's my only thing. Like when I was in the theater, I felt like the beginning 30, 45 minutes of the movie, it was just bam, 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 bam. But I'm not saying that was bad. They were great scenes, but I was kind of trying to wrap my head around what they were talking about, what was going on. There was a lot of scene jumps, That's the only thing I would say. But, the second half of the movie, if we're going right down the middle, I completely understood what was happening. It was fantastic, and then my other rebuttal, no Achilles. That's my only thing. No Achilles is, I feel like he just plays such a big part in that story. And also Hector, who, was of Troy. I thought that's another big part that was also. But then again, you know what? I have to remind myself, this wasn't their story. This was not their story. So that's, okay. Maybe I'll adjust my score to a 10. based on my
No, if that's what it is to you, we're not trying to score.
I had to convince myself of that. There you go. Yeah. No. I think that, yeah. Would I have liked to see a little more of those guys? Yes, but then again, like I said, not their story. It was not their part.
I'll give it a 9. Because there was no Honda Odyssey.
Because there was no Honda Odyssey.
No, I'm kidding.
A Honda Odyssey would have gotten everybody home safe. the first time.
bro. Literally, yeah. If they would have like just hopped in, like, but nah, incredible movie. But I'm partial, as you guys can tell. Like, love me some Greek mythology. Christopher Nolan like ate that shit up. The script was great. Everybody showed up to work. Like, um, the first voice you hear in the whole movie is Travis Scott, my
Oh
favorite
yeah,
artist. Like,
yeah.
so it's like this movie was made for me.
I was with Sean, and
Oh yeah.
when it started up, me and Sean looked at each other. We were like, "Is that fucking Travis Scott?"
Yeah. I forgot he was in the movie, and
I didn't even know he was in it. I had no
yeah,
idea.
I forgot that he was in it. But like, I love that like this story has been told from generation to generation, and Homer is the first one to put it like pen to paper and write it down, which is why he gets credited for it. But like, and it was just told through song, and like that's what song was back then. So basically, Christopher Nolan got Travis Scott because that's what hip hop is now. And I was like, yo, like talk
It,
about somebody who gets it. Like, I
it's
was like,
Yeah.
almost,
this is.
it's almost like, the damn Bible. I mean,
Mhm.
they think about it. Like, think of how many times that story has been rewritten. How many people have been like, all right, I'm gonna include this in the story now. You know what I mean? Like, just people filling in shit. And
Yeah.
the other thing I learned too was, in the original, like the original written version from Homer, there were a lot of words repeated in the story. And there was a reason for that. It's because the story used to be, you know, told out loud when people couldn't read. So there were certain things that were so much repeated. And I'm pretty sure, I can't think of what exactly it was right now. It'll come to me later. But um, like certain things were repeated so many times because people couldn't read and they would just listen. So
This is long.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, Zeus's law, of course, being one. Yeah. Hey, can I need to get a drink real quick. Give me 1 second.
Go for it.
Absolutely.
Go
We're good.
for
We're
it.
1
good.
second. Give me one.
While we're waiting on him, I'll ask him too. So besides Matt Damon, who clearly should get, actor of the year, uh, whose performance did you guys really like besides his?
Um, I'll start and say that uh, kind of perform. I'm not going to answer your question, but performances aside, like I think the entire cast is the Trojan horse. So when I saw this cast, I was like, "Oh wow, they're inflating a cast to dump like a crappy movie on us, and they're paying like all these actors to get people to go see this." I was half right. All the
Uh,
actors are getting people to go see it, but to go watch an incredible story. So the actors, I don't think anybody did badly, but they were the Trojan horse to get people out to see this great story.
Okay, so well, good job. Good job, no answer. Good answer, no answer.
yeah,
Who
yeah.
answered this
Um,
question? Nobody.
yeah,
Hold
yeah.
on, Lito. I got something
Jesus
to ask
fucking
you.
Christ. Yeah. Oh my God. No, I got one too after that joke he just made. It
My
may have gone
name?
over their heads, but it didn't go over mine.
I got it.
I just got back.
Um,
I'm safe.
Oh yeah.
all
So
right. So I think John Leguizamo. I think John Leguizamo, like best supporting actor, like he should definitely get like a He's gonna get a nomination. Like he should. I'm not gonna say he will, but like he should. I think he was like the most surprising performance out of everyone. Matt Damon was very good. Anne Hathaway ate the scenes she was in. Like she wasn't in it much, but like you could feel like everything. Like everything she was like, whatever the script said she was feeling, she made us feel it with her. And I was like, damn, like, yeah, like you have been running this country for 20 years and everybody's just like, who's the guy she's gonna marry? Like she hasn't been fucking running this bitch. Like, so John Leguizamo, her, uh, uh, uh who's his second in command on the ship?
Oh man.
Archimedes or some shit, like the Indian dude. He was very good. He
Who
was
was the
very
third
good
guy?
at seeming competent. and like the men he was like managing, and also like at towards the end you realize like when he was when he basically knew he doomed them, and he was just like, it's not your fault. Like another Matt Damon.
Yeah.
It's not your fault. Like
Matt Damon.
Eurylochus by Himesh Patel,
Eurylochus.
and
Yeah.
that was a major moment. He was like, "Oh, this is hard. Oh, I understand now. Like any decision you make can cost lives. Hey, back to you, sir. You got
Yeah.
this."
Yeah. It's not your
He did
fault.
great.
And then like the as soon as that happens, like the tides change. They're like, oh, let's get off the island, and then like they all die. Like incredible.
Who was
Tell
the
Brandon.
who was
We
the
were
third in command guy? Remember, it was the Indian guy, and then it was
that bald dude.
yes. Who
That
was?
bald dude. I don't know who he is. He's a super famous character actor. He's been in a ton of
He's
movies.
been in a
But
ton of
Jamie,
stuff.
would you pull
Yeah.
that up?
That's a hell of a cast.
He's
He's
got like a
the bottom
scary.
to the
This
to the
dude.
the
very
third from
bottom.
the left at the bottom,
Yeah.
or third from the right at the bottom, I should say.
Yeah.
That dude.
Yeah, him. Yeah.
Andrew
What's
Howard.
he in? Yes, he's in a couple good movies.
Limitless.
He was the Russian guy in Limitless. He was the evil gangster guy. Yeah. He started
He
taking.
was in the Hawkeye series, and he was one of the Russian tracksuit mafia dudes
Yep.
too. Like he
Yeah, that's
always
what
plays
he
a
was
Russian.
in fucking Limitless as well.
Yeah.
Same idea in Taken 3.
Yeah,
All right, so this
yeah,
is
I
his
gotta, I
first. This
gotta,
is his
I
first
gotta
casting out of character.
wow.
No, he's good. Is he the third in command, or maybe it's the other dude? Um, the no, he probably wasn't the third in command. The third in command, I'm thinking, who's the dude from the Collector and the Collection? Jamie, can you pull that up?
Jamie.
So Brandon, while he's looking at what I asked was, besides Matt Damon, who did we feel like did the best performance on the side? So for me, I would say was Anne Hathaway. I
Mhm.
really loved, like how Rambo said, little time, killed the performance, basically made us feel every emotion, made us feel like, when she gets enraged with her son about like, now you want me to marry and like, yeah, I'll do whatever the fuck, but like, don't forget who fucking ran and shit. Like, I love everything about her. Like, I would give her best supporting actors, or even what's his name from Spider Man?
Tom
What's his
Holland.
Tom
last name?
Holland.
Tom Holland. I always forget his last name. Tom Holland also did really good. The only nitpick I have of Tom Holland's character, which it was just like, just the character itself. I hated that like we saw him like training in the beginning to like be this fighter, and then in the end, it was like, brother, kill the fucking guy. You had one
Yeah,
One
fight.
dude, you had one nigga to kill. Your dad was downstairs bodying like 40 dudes. And you
yeah,
had
yeah. You
one
got one fucking guy that you gotta
who's
throw a damn
who was
spear.
supplying all the
Yeah.
weapons. Like if you would have killed him, like your dad wouldn't have even had a problem. Like
No,
That was
I mean
Let's go to the
honestly,
timeout. Again, this is somebody being in character. His character was somebody in training. We did not go through a montage of him being a killer. We did not go through He had heart. No doubt the guy had heart. He was mad at the suitors. He had a lot going on. But when the blind dude, there's three instances of this. We talked about one with Robert Pattinson. He stayed in character and was like the same coward at the end as he was in the beginning. I was really impressed with Christopher Nolan's directing when they were messing with the dog in the food hall. Telemachus had said, "This is the what was the blind dude's name?" He basically said he stays around here and he could still kick ass. So when they started kicking the dog, I was like, please don't make this blind guy come out here and be Daredevil and shit. And he didn't because he can't anymore. So like I think they stayed consistent with characters. It's like, yes, the sheep herder was a killer. He's blind now, he cannot. This dude is just a dude in training, so he's gonna help as much as he can, but he's still a dude in training.
I
Which
guess.
is
I
also
mean,
like a good, which is also good writing. How they killed the mentor character. His name was Mentor. The dude who who was supposed to play, um, what's his face in God of War, the live action.
oh, Kratos.
Yeah, he's supposed to play Kratos, but he just got injured, so they're gonna have to recast. But like that dude, when they killed Mentor on that island,
With poison.
so literally, like, so they wiped his biggest like defense off the board, and then it was literally just Odysseus and
And his
Telemachus.
son. And his son. So
No.
to
Manny, to answer your question, Travis Scott.
a
There you
I
song.
go.
respect it. I res-
A
He was there in the
man.
beginning and in the end. I
He
get it.
was
I get it.
phenomenal. His 52 seconds of screen time were amazing.
Yeah.
Hey, hey, I support it. I think
No,
that's his first acting role too. Okay.
No, I think that if I were to be
I
honest,
see the gears. I see the gears turning, Rambo.
they're turning. A lot of gears are turning right now.
No, I think this is his first acting role. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know his music videos. He damn does well.
Yeah.
You can if you
uh,
want to dive that wormhole if
yeah,
it's
Jamie, would you pull that up? He's been in a quite a few things. The Odyssey, most recently, Circus Maximus, Rolling Loud
That's
the
his
movie. I don't know if
that's his
that
concert.
counts. Oh, is that his
Well, this
concert?
is
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
this
it's
this
like the Utopia,
Oh,
well, not Utopia,
Trolls.
but like
it's also not the first time Christopher Nolan has had a a singer
musician.
or a musician or a rapper on one of his films. I'm pretty sure Harry Styles was in 19.
1917.
Then he
David
David
Bowie was
Bowie.
in The Prestige.
Yeah,
Like he's
yeah.
Rambo, you're answering these questions way too fast. Are you? Do you have like a cheat sheet in front of you, or
I
what are
Rambo,
don't even
you?
have my computer. My
Rambo's
I left my computer at work since I have to go in on Monday. So like I literally, you know what it is?
Rambo,
This is so. This is straight off the dome.
Rambo's new name is Claude.
Claude Bow.
Claude, yeah, Claude Bow, yeah.
Claude is a French name. That is a French name. So
There
like,
you go. Yeah, it works out. Wait, really? So why is Claude French?
why is
Close,
cognac French?
close,
Oh, yeah.
close.
Because Claude gets bitches. Nah. All right. Are we
Yes,
satisfied?
we're finally done.
I
Let's
Nope.
think
go.
we're
Let's
Yeah,
move on.
we've
Nope.
talked
Let's
a lot about
move
it. We
on.
got
Let's
more
move on.
Nope.
topics to touch on.
Nope.
I think we've covered all the bases we need for now until we watch it again.
I will speed run three things. You guys gave a lot of
Wait,
credit to Anne Hathaway as Penelope. Super sick. She actually learned how to do the threading thing, which is like an ancient art. So she actually learned how to do that to like she wasn't playing around with it in the scenes.
must be nice to have the time. I'm kidding.
So, Rambo, question for you. The dude who did the scoring, Hans
Ludwig
Goggerman?
Göransson.
Ludwig
Ludwig
Göransson.
Göransson.
He dug up ancient uh instruments and
He reinvented them. They don't exist anymore, so
well
he had to make them again.
yeah, what he couldn't find was remade and like with historians of like what would this have sounded like, what would this have been shaped like, whatever, and all of the scores were done with that zero orchestra. That's sick. And the scene in Hades, people were buried in real life. That was not CGI, that was practical. Buried with a safety person with a snorkel, waiting for their turn to
Oh
get
shit.
out of the sand and talk to Odysseus. That is sick.
I had to look it up because I was like, I thought that was Hades that he was talking to, but it was Tiresias is
No,
the name.
he
I
was
have
in Hades.
I don't
And
even it was James Remar. You know, like every look up James Remar. We all know who it is. It's Dexter's dad from the show Dexter. Like he's been in everything. I couldn't even tell that was him. I've heard that voice a million times, and I was like, who is that? Like,
and the dog breed, there's only 75 of those dogs left alive in the world. Did you know that? That's an
No, I
act-
Oh
did
damn!
not.
that's an actual ancient Greek dog.
Oh
That's
Oh
in
damn!
that show.
snap!
There's
So
only
crazy.
75 of those dogs left alive in this world. I thought
74,
Damn.
74 now.
74.
Oh my god!
Uh,
73 since they tossed that one off the
yeah. No,
they
dude's tossing these fucking things out the window, man.
they did not know what they had in their hands. He's like, hey, keep the second
Oh
one,
my
bro.
god.
Keep the second one.
Can
In
you imagine
3,000 years, these are going to be worth money.
Can you imagine being back then? You have an extinct species in your hand, and you're just like, "Fuck it." Like,
Fuck it.
They're like Pokemon cards.
yeah. You got a good deck. In 2002, you're looking at it like, throw it away, and it's worth like $4 million nowadays.
You're like, I hate this
No, yeah.
Charizard.
Big ups to Ludwig Göransson for like another. Like he's definitely going to win for like best original score again. We've talked about it on the pod before. He was like he was he was dorm mates with Ryan Coogler, the director of Sinners, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, the Creed movies. Like they were college roommates, like, and they just like have made magic together. They both like branched off and done their own things. But like, dude, Ludwig Göransson is the GOAT, like as of now. Like, and he's so young. Like he's doing his goddamn thing. He's basically the dude who's responsible for Redbone by Childish Gambino. Like that album, what's it called? Awaken My Love? Awaken My Love, is that what it's called?
That sounds
When he
correct.
got like on some soul symphonic ass like sound, that was Ludwig Göransson and Childish Gambino working together. Like, bro,
You
dude,
tell me, Claude. I don't know.
yes. What I said is correct.
He's like, I'm not
No.
guessing out here. Now we're satisfied. But actually,
You were waiting for some silence.
yeah, no, we're satisfied. It's fun.
All right, the Doomsday trailer. What are we thinking, guys?
I already told you guys this is gonna be the movie of the year.
Can I ask you a
One
question?
thing. Huh?
Can I ask you a question?
Who?
So, is there some sort of way that Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man, could have became Doctor Doom? Is that because here's a quick thought I have. There's a moment, and I can't remember if it's Endgame, Infinity War, but Thanos tells Stark, he says, "Hey, you're cursed with the same knowledge that I have." And I'm just wondering if there's some sort of correlation between that where, yes, Iron Man is Doctor Doom.
I think for them to cast Robert Downey Jr. as Victor Von Doom or Doctor Doom, whatever they're doing, like in this iteration, I feel like there has to be like a correlation. There has to be like, oh, this variant of Tony Stark was born Victor Von Doom. He was raised in Latveria by a witch, a sorceress of a mother. He didn't have the money, but he's always been super intelligent. And then he got the magic from her, and then whatever happens to his mom, like, I'm not going to spoil the comics. Excuse me. But I think for them to cast him like as like they have to like they can't just like Robert Downey Jr. is just Doctor Doom, but there's no reference to like him looking just like Tony Stark. Like they have to. There's no way.
So
So
first
from
of
what
all,
I
not spoiling the comics after 1.5 hours of Odyssey spoilers is fucking wild.
The movie came out.
Fair.
You haven't seen it yet, you're fucking late.
Yeah, and so yeah, it's a 3,000-year-old book. Figure it out. But before Emmanuel goes, like they kind of gave themselves that cop out with the multiverse, and that is something that has been making me feel like the stakes are always so low in Marvel. So since Endgame and like with the TVA, with the multiverse, with all the timelines, I'm just like, anytime you lose someone, you just he actually came back, but from a different. Like I'm not sold on all that, Emmanuel.
So one thing about Marvel is that no matter what, death is not permanent in that universe. Um, so my thing one about the trailer is that I like that in the beginning of the trailer we hear Robert Downey Jr.'s voice as Doctor Doom, and it doesn't sound anything like Tony Stark. So that's one thing I was really happy to hear because I was kind of worried about him like sounding like it. Um, but I think what they're going to do is that like we got to remember, one, they're re-releasing Endgame just to introduce new scenes that we didn't really see, some that never made it to the cut, some that were deleted. And from what I've been hearing is that it's supposed to like kind of fill in the gaps and also start the questions of like how is it that Doctor Doom and Tony Stark are like
Thank you.
kind of like the same. And I think for me, with like knowing the multiverse, knowing variants, knowing also that there's like literally multiverses. From what I hear is that basically Tony Stark, from what I hear, doing the snap may be one of the bigger causes as to why Doctor Doom no longer has a family or no longer has a universe. And I think that he's basically one of the surviving from, because we got to remember in the show of with every Marvel project that came out after Endgame, they basically made the apparent theme of the people that were gone for 5 years in Endgame, when they came back, they didn't really have a place in the world, or that they technically were the lost ones, and that they didn't like they missed 5 years, but they didn't like lose anything. They came back to what they lost. Where I think we're gonna experience Doctor Doom is one of the few characters that actually lost something after the snap of 5 years of people being gone. And I think that's where like the variant part is gonna come in, where I think we're gonna see how basically Tony Stark's origin, or at least what made him really commit to being Iron Man, gets changed. And like I think where like his birthplace or something, there's like a still like a huge scene in Endgame where Tony Stark goes back in time, he meets his dad, and his dad is like, "Oh, I'm expecting," and Tony Stark is kind of puzzled because he's like, "That's not my birthday. Like, what do you mean you have a kid at this point? It shouldn't have been like that." I think that's probably one of the first clues that we're gonna realize that Tony Stark is probably like adopted, or he wasn't really Howard Stark's son necessarily. And I think what we're gonna do is completely meet a completely different variant of a so-called Tony Stark that is actually Doom. And I think how like the same way with Wanda, how she's basically, what was it, a cosmic being that it only really exists in one plane of the multiverse. I think that's gonna be something of where like Doctor Doom is. There's really only one Doctor Doom because of the fact that he's known as, he's literally on par with Doctor Strange as with magic. He's also very brilliant. He's as smart as Reed Richards, Tony Stark, all of them. And within like our multiverse, we're clearly going to like experience, at least from the trailer that I saw, I feel like we're gonna experience him being the one with the most knowledge of what's really going on and kind of guiding everyone, for him to do either like a slip up, or he like basically is like, "I got you, bitch," in a trap, and like that's when everything gets revealed. And I think that's like one of those moments we're gonna experience of like, I think the whole story of Doomsday, it's not necessarily how did we get here? It's how it's what happened already, and we're just hearing the voices from the survivors. Because from what they've already like announced is that basically we're gonna see a lot of superhero deaths that we're not ready for, you know. And if this is like the truly like the final goodbye to Fox characters, the X Men, Fantastic Four, whoever it is, I think basically they're going to make it a point that Doctor Doom may be a variant of Tony Stark, but he is his own person, and I think that's one thing that we're gonna experience in the movie, at least from my point of view.
Yeah, and I was gonna ask you how we get the stakes up, and I don't know. I feel like killing the B team because I feel like I've really resonated with the memes of like Thor comes back and he's like, oh, he didn't realize we're in a tanking rebuild year. Like, I don't know that I care about the current like Avengers as they stand in that trailer to care enough for like them to be lost. Like, so how do we
So
get the
so
stakes up?
I really don't think we're experiencing a Avengers team. I think we're more like in Infinity War where there was that like in the ending where basically we didn't know who survived or not, but we knew that there were like basically the Avengers were now cut in half of all the heroes that we did know. I think we're like basically raising the stakes of like we we the only team that we have left is what we're experiencing are the ones that survived the initial attack from Doom. You know, like how we're talking about like the attack of Troy. This is what we would experience if a few people actually escaped Troy, and then this is their horror story of telling of what's to come to everybody else. And
Can
I
I
think
ask
that's kind of my
something?
thing. Yeah.
And you know, I might be out of my element here, but here's a serious question: is fucking Doctor Doom more powerful than Thanos?
Yeah.
How is Doctor Doom, you know, beating Thanos when he has all the Infinity Stones, and what does Doctor Doom have that Thanos doesn't? It seems like Thanos had the fucking power of the universe.
So Thanos basically look at it as this: Thanos is a warrior. Doctor Doom is a scientist who's adapted to war.
Sounds like
So
fucking Tony Stark.
no, yeah, I mean that's the
Tony
whole
Stark
parallel.
mixed with Doctor Strange.
Yeah, it's basically like Doctor Doom learning
So
the.
like a wizard warrior, so to
He's
say,
part of the
like a
big.
battle mage.
He's part of the big three: androids, wizards, aliens.
Okay.
Oh, but like no,
I,
but like that's the thing about Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom, in the universe, like in the Marvel universe, Reed Richards and Tony Stark are always like flip flopping on who's the smartest in the universe. Like they're always the ones who problem solve, even after like whatever's happened. Doctor Doom has always been a point where he's on par with them, and like yes, sometimes with the balances is different, but he's always been on par. But he's always done things like what he sees is fit that nobody's willing to do. So that's what makes him dangerous. Think about Tony Stark. Tony Stark did everything, and he sacrificed himself to make sure that all the people that he loved could survive. Doctor Doom is that guy that he will sacrifice all his warriors to make sure his family survives.
so where does
So,
like Professor X fit in that? Like in that totem pole, where is he at on that line? Because doesn't he have? I mean, that's just seems like Professor X is on that line of being with, you know,
so, so Professor X has never been shown as really like a like the smartest person in the
mhm.
room.
Yeah.
He's always been known as I can read the mind of the smartest person in the room and understand because when like you gotta understand if you're watching especially X-Men 97 right now season 2 you they kind of like show this that Professor X like yes he's very smart for what he knows he's probably one of the smartest of the of mutants out there but at the end of the day like he still doesn't have the pure knowledge of everything what he's doing is one he's going off of what he feels and what is in the best interest of mutants not necessarily humankind but like he does look out for humans and mutants as much as he can, but at the end of the day, it's like still the same thing about like Magneto. They're looking out for mutants. So with
What
with
makes a mutant different than a superhero? What is the
X gene.
it's the X
it's
gene.
the gene. The gene, so okay, got it. All right.
Yeah, so basically like the mutants are basically born and naturally given these mutant like powers to do, where like the superheroes something's had to happen to them,
Well, would
or
a Captain America technically be a mutant?
no,
No, he
no,
was
he was
given
a
How
those
lab.
so?
powers.
Given
He
that
was,
he was given, a serum that
Yeah.
made him what he was,
no,
but then
that's
the
them.
His genes were mutated. That's a good point.
that's
His
what
genes
I'm
were
saying.
I
mutated.
mean,
Doesn't that make
Yeah, but
Captain America?
he wasn't born with the X gene, is what it is. Like
yeah,
it's the difference between like a mutant and an inhuman.
It doesn't sound
basically,
like any of the mutants were born with this thing. They were just
They
given it.
were they were all born with the X gene. Like
Not
it,
yeah,
not the furry guy. The what's his name?
yeah,
yes, he was. He was born.
yeah, he was.
Every mutant was born with the X
I
gene.
thought he had some sort of thing happen in a lab where he was given that.
No,
No,
he tried to like reverse the effects of his X gene, which only made it worse. Which is why he became like blue. Like
So you know
that's
what
yeah.
this sounds like? This sounds like the fucking boys.
yeah.
Well,
Well,
the boy
it's all
sounds
based off
like
of that.
this.
The boys was inspired by X-Men. That's
Yeah,
actually what
well,
they, yeah,
obviously the boys is way more
violent.
Yeah.
realistic.
Yeah,
Yeah. Did you guys? What? I don't mean to get off topic. Did
we
you
don't
guys
we don't talk about the boys. The boys
season of
suck.
that?
I'm just kidding. I'm just
Whoa,
kidding.
he's controlling our whole opinion on this. Like we love Lupe. I'll say that then. If we hate the boys, we love
No,
Lupe.
you guys been saying that forever. So fuck you guys.
Did you guys see the last season of that show? What did you think of that?
Trash.
Damn,
Very.
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it,
very
but I kept up with
trash.
like clips, and I
I
didn't.
was I was expecting
I'm gonna
fucking
pour my.
Homelander to, completely obliterate shit and, destroy. But it just felt like he was, I feel like they nerfed him. I mean, the part where when he gets the serum, what is that called? When he when he
V1.
got, when he got the
V1.
The
shit that
V.
the V.
V1.
It wasn't
V1.
V1. It was the V. It was what Soldier Boy had. When Soldier Boy gave him that, and he became
V1.
yeah,
V1.
and he was given that. I thought from there I was like, they're fucked. There's nothing they can do from now on. You
I
know what I mean?
mean, like the boys is basically the concept of the mutants and the superheroes.
Yeah.
Everybody in the boys is it's not like they were naturally super powered. They were given lab creation. That's basically the difference of the superheroes and mutants. To answer the question, it's basically mutants are naturally born with these powers, and the superheroes are the ones who are basically gifted. So think of Doctor Doom as the most gifted villain you can think of because he has, with his suit, he basically has an Iron Man suit that gives him super strength and all these things. It also lets him become one of the most strongest wizards because he basically his suit amplifies his power with the already the powers that he knows, and he knows like magics that like technically Doctor Strange isn't allowed to use. He uses them on a daily as nothing. So like, if you saw in the trailer when Thor is coming down with Stormbreaker and he catches it with two fingers and blocks it, total Dragon Ball Z moment. Um, when he does that, it's because of the fact that like he has rune magic. If we saw, or like if you remember in WandaVision, she was the queen of rune magic. Doctor Doom is the king of rune magic when it comes to that. One thing like they don't. I think they kind of like shown in what was it, Love and Thunder? No, not Love and Thunder. Which was the Ragnarok. In Ragnarok, when they're showing how Odin used to be as all powerful, that's basically the level of Doctor Doom's rune magic is. Odin's level.
So technically,
So
Doctor Doom is more powerful than Odin.
technically now, yes, because if you're following the story, Odin got a superpower nerf from everything where he used to be like really be, you know. And I
He got like
personally,
benevolent towards the end, is what it was. So like he, they kind of nerfed him on the power level,
I was
but
just
like
about to say, he
so
got
that's the thing. Depending on the day and the mood, is who's what.
yeah,
okay.
there's one thing. Whenever I go into these movies, especially with like Marvel, there's something that Stan Lee, when he was alive, rest in peace, he had mentioned when they said when you put these two comic like characters like Wolverine versus Deadpool fighting each other, how do you determine who's gonna win? Like who's more powerful or whatever? At the end of the day, it's not about who's more powerful. It's really the decision of who's writing everything, of like how strong your shooter could be. And like in reality, like that's one thing we had to realize is that we gave the power in like in the whole Endgame saga that Tony Stark was the main most powerful person that we had of a superhero because of his mind and his technology. Now we're going against somebody who has that, but also has the most powerful magic, the most powerful armor, and the most powerful knowledge of everything going on, and that's what they're going against. So in reality, there's a reason why he's called Doctor Doom, is because Doomsday is coming. And I don't know about you guys, but this is gonna be the absolute most cinema thing that's gonna happen if they play this shit correctly. I tell you right now.
I hope so because they've been fucking up a lot lately.
They've lost their footing, but like, bro, you know, it'd be crazy if they put some MF Doom in this bitch. Like especially if they play Doomsday in it,
If it's
like
not starting
Why would you
in the movie,
not? Why would you
in the
not?
movie,
You know, and that's the thing is, why the fuck would you not have that song in this fucking movie?
bro, like as soon as they mentioned that they were gonna, it'd be Avengers Doomsday. Like they started making like the Marvel opening scene with the comics flipping over the side, and
Yeah.
then like with the song Doomsday over
Doomsday
it
on.
is
Yeah.
like if it starts like that, like bro, that's like a. You know, like when they say, like you get a 300 on your SAT scores if you write your name correct. Like, it's a
Yeah. On
300 off the bat. They start like that.
and
Wait,
the funny
is
thing
that a
is
real
that
thing?
yeah,
I
Wait,
never
honestly,
no,
SATs.
no,
He's
but
like,
wait,
I didn't
no,
write
no,
my name
wait,
on it.
but the
I was
SAT,
homeschooled.
that is a real thing.
yes. If
You
you
get
yes,
300 automatically.
you get
What
300
is
points for
what
just
is the
writing a name.
highest score you can get on that? A 2,000?
I think it's like 800 or 900 or something. I don't remember.
Dude, they changed it. It used to be three
Yeah, they've changed
subjects
it.
when I was in school. I think it's just two things now.
No, the funny thing is that we all still pretend like this shit matters. Like
Yeah, it don't matter.
Well,
nobody gives a
actually,
fuck. What are your transcripts? And then like who are you related to? That's the
well,
school you're gonna go to.
a lot of schools actually stopped making the SAT a requirement. Um, the theory is that the top 20 schools in the country still are like, yeah, it's optional, but they want to see you do it, and they'll like drill you if you didn't do it. But like the SAT has become optional. Like I think everybody's gearing up for this. Like we don't need smart kids future.
Well, I'll let you guys know pretty soon because my youngest brother is now in high school. He starts it this year, so I'll let you guys know how it goes because that's the
Yeah,
last of all my younger
he's
siblings.
like,
I
get your
Youngest
answer
I
brother.
here in 3 years.
see. I don't listen. I'll be honest with you. I work. I use AI my entire day. I have to use it for what I do for work. So I do software sales. Okay. Now I have done this job, you know, a couple of years ago, and now doing it again. What I used to have to do is I would spend, you know, 15 to 20 minutes, you know, let's say Rambo is a chief technology officer, okay?
Because
Let's
he
say
is.
Rambo is the chief technology officer at Chewy, okay? Yeah. All right. So I would go to Rambo's, you know, LinkedIn profile. I would look at his history. I would look at where he's worked, what he's done, you know, his accomplishments. I would take the time to actually look into, you know, his successes. Now, dude, I can go to Claude and I can type in, give me every sort of selling point that I need to convince Rambo to take a meeting with me. And that's all it takes now. But here's the what do they call it? It's a proxy. It's almost or a paradox. Here's the paradox of it: is people now know that you can do that. So if somebody hits me up or if somebody hits Rambo up, and they say all the right things, you're like, that's fucking AI. That's
You
that's
say all
AI.
the right things, you're definitely gonna hit it
That's
from Rambo.
fucking AI. Exactly. Yeah. And I've had that happen to me. I've had people hit me up and be like, hey, I saw you did this, 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 and this, you know? that's nowadays, it used to be, if it were 4 years ago and I had presented you with that research, you'd be like, damn, this guy knows good shit about me. I want to talk to him. But now people see that and they're like, I don't want to fucking say anything to this guy.
So hilarious. Like one AI chatbot against one AI chatbot.
Yeah.
They're going to be arguing. So I work in software too. I'm an engineer and I don't write code. Like it's been
Way.
maybe
Who do you
like
work?
myself now.
Oh, nice.
That
Good for
damn
you.
AI. No, but yeah, I built a company called VForm, and basically we have voice-enabled forms. Everything is agent-led rather than humans filling out forms. So like somebody fills out an incident report, and it's like, man, we need a lot more information here. So now you call into a number, you state your incident, and then you get all the follow-up questions needed to fill out like the regulatory document or whatever, and then that gets posted to the administration with like all that. So that, like, where I'm at today, this started in February, so it's been less than 6 months, and where the company is today would have taken me multiple years if I was coding everything by hand. And now it's systems design, architecture, testing, reviewing, and guiding the product. Zero lines needed to be written myself.
Yeah, for that, and you're hitting the nail on the point I was just trying to make is, yes, Claude and all the AI, they're great with code. They're great with being, computers. They're really good at that. But human wise, I don't think it's there. I don't think obviously I think it will be there one day. But from my experience with working with it, it just, I can tell it to give me something. And yes, it will provide some good ideas. But if I say, write me a script I need for our podcast tonight, write me something that I need to, go line for line or word for word on. It doesn't sound authentic yet. You know what I mean? It's just not there. Like in the sense of being a human.
I always think of this one meme that I see. It's just like AI can never make art because AI will never be horny. Like it's shit like that. Like
You're right. Hey, you never know.
at the end of the day, like the human component is necessary, like
Yeah,
we can automate as much as possible, but we need to be the ones to prompt it.
absolutely.
And
And
especially like
that's
in sales, human relationships, like, hey, I can't have dinner with you. Like you could
no,
chat to it while you're having dinner, but like the amount of business that's done in the interpersonal, in the, okay, we have a 15-30 minute sales call and we spend the first 5-15 minutes talking about not anything to do with the product, with the
Mhm.
negotiation. And it's like, I like this guy. Like,
Exactly.
that's what's
That's why
going
like a bunch of
in
deals are signed
sales,
on golf
right?
courses.
That is what's happening in sales is everything digital that you used to be able to do in email, in LinkedIn message, in phone, even in phone call, because you can AI your fucking voice nowadays and
yo,
have that. All of that, it's like we're going back to the 80s, in the 90s, the early 2000s, where people only trust you if they see you speaking face to face. Like that is a serious thing that's going on. And I think that with my job, I've said this numerous times to company X I work with, is that is what is going to make us money. Is getting out there, being face to face, and doing human interaction sort of things. Just like you said, taking somebody to dinner, not being an asshole the first 5 minutes, going, all right, let's talk about this right off the bat. No, like, what are you doing today? What's up? How's the weather? Just shit like that. That goes so.
Like, what
It
kind of
goes so
TV show
long
you
way.
watching? What
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of porn do
exactly.
you get
Yeah,
What do you
into?
think about the Odyssey?
yeah. You took the words out of my mouth. Yeah. Do you think that Doctor Doom is Tony Stark?
No, but like not to get off topic, but like when we were talking about like movies of the decade, what one that like really sticks out to me? I don't know if you guys have seen this movie, Companion. Have you guys seen the movie Companion?
I don't think
Have
so.
not.
It's about that AI girlfriend. Like it's like a robot girlfriend.
Oh, I remember the one. That
Yeah, yeah.
movie that
You
you were
were here when
watching.
I
Okay,
watched it,
yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
you came out when I was done, and I was like, "Yo, I don't know what the fuck." Just like Brandon brought up Ex Machina. Like it's kind of like the way like the Odyssey is kind of like a spiritual sequel to this. That kind of feels like what Companion was to Ex Machina.
I hate to
So it's
beat
like
you to the punch on this. She, Joaquin Phoenix.
so yeah, so
Yeah,
I know that that's like a really big one. Like but this
that's a weird
is
movie.
like with time and like the integration of technology, and it was just like, oh damn, like yeah, an AI girlfriend, like a robot girlfriend, like we're probably not too far from that. Like where people are just like, oh, like I can turn on and off my partner and all this shit, and it's just like it is what I want it to be and not what I don't, and all this stuff. And I can literally like program it to feel like our first interaction, like where we first met, like it'd be in a supermarket, like it is in this movie. Annie,
I was hoping you were actually gonna finish your thing first, but what I was gonna say was, what I was gonna say is like, so with the companion, like, how you were saying in the movie, the whole premise is like a companion that's a robot. Who here is buying the robot? Are individually, like, are we? If that opportunity came, are you guys buying a robot or are you going to get a girl?
I don't need that fucking robot. I mean,
So you're getting married. You're
yeah,
getting
you're
married. That's
engaged.
the right answer.
Like until I saw that movie, I was like, no, no way. And then I saw the movie and I was like, oh, this actually makes sense. Like, I was like, oh, this is a problem. Like, this is what everybody keeps saying. Like, the same people that are like for AI and like, yeah, we need to buy in. It's literally the same shit. Like, and that's the thing. That's the issue. Like, AI covers such a vast like scope of things. So it's just like, at what point do you want life to not be convenient? And it's just like, and obviously, like I just said, like the human component is super necessary and stuff. And it's just I don't know. It's the dichotomy, the mental dichotomy of like the human condition. So it's weird. Like sometimes, yeah, like sometimes no, but I don't know, man. And
So
that's the beauty of the movie. Like if you haven't seen it, go watch it because you'll just be like, oh, fuck.
I
so
think if you're buying the robot to replace your human partner, you're fucked. Like if you're buying
you're
it to replace the daily things that neither you nor her want to do, now we're winning. Now we're buying time back. Now we're getting able to, hey, babe, what do you want to do? Not like how do we want to actually spend our time if we didn't have to do A, B, C menial tasks? So that's where
mhm.
I'm all in on AI and robots. I will be buying a robot, but not to replace a human in relation, but a human in menial task and bullshit work.
Now
I think
what if a robot?
like laundry.
Who
I
should
will
be
buy
doing
a
laundry?
robot to do the
I enjoy
fucking
doing
laundry.
laundry. I enjoy cleaning.
I enjoy doing my laundry, not cleaning, but laundry. Yes, I like the
Yeah,
smell, the hot
like
when it's fresh. You put the
Yeah.
towel on you.
Like
Oh,
Okay,
that's the
program
best.
the robot to bring you the warm part when it's done, and let it fold
But
all your clothes. What do we? This is not a good use
but
of
wait,
time,
wait,
people.
wait, but why make the robot bring me a towel when its vagina can self heat and it just land on my dick?
yeah,
Because
so
that's what they were
that's
doing.
the issue. It's like,
That
what do you
that's
need it?
That's what
Like,
they
what
were
do you
doing.
want it for? Is the thing. Like, and that's not
not a
what I would want
vagina.
it for.
Yeah, not a
So
vagina. Because a
wait,
vagina.
So what I'm thinking,
AI pussy.
wait. So what I'm thinking, but that was the whole point of the movie. Was like in the beginning, it was like they were fucking the robots because they didn't have relationships. So I'm thinking as Morty from Rick and Morty of like, oh, you're gonna be banging the cyborg, and like, what is it gonna give you a child, or if it's not gonna give you a child, you know? So like that's my thing is. If we get to a point where we're using the AI and people are buying robots and you're specifically using it to start fucking, are we going as companion, as in that's the where the line draws? Is like you could bang it, but you're not having kids, or are we going a little bit step further, like Rick and Morty? And is your kid now? Is your robot about to give you a kid if you want it to give it to you?
So the answer is in your question. Now, thinking back to that Rick and Morty episode, was that vagina and
Raising
what
Gazorpa's for.
raising Gazorpazorp? Was that vagina and was that a child?
Yes and yes.
Morty was
No
pounding
and
that shit like it
no.
was a vagina.
No and
It was
no.
modeled. Yes, it was
That
modeled
was
as a
yes. It
woman.
was yes and yes.
No. That
Yeah,
it if your girl gave you a Gazorpazorp child, you would not view this as your child. You would not view this as
But it was the child. Your view on it doesn't change the nature of what it is, and that's what it was.
yeah. It was a robot that
I think
had
it
the
does.
Kazorkazork women. The women's whole like reproduction system was inside those robots because even in the beginning of the episode,
I'm about
the
to
women
blow.
talk about it.
I'm about to
Hold on
blow
though.
your guys' mind. So
Hold on.
was
Hold on. The women talk about the fact that the robot that they were so primitive, the men, that when they made those robots, it was because they were basically fucking the shit out of them. That they were either die or they were just too primitive to deal with. So like that was the whole point was that when they made those robots, it was like you can. It was to recreate, and it was at the end of the day, it was like this is what they did. You know, like those. That's what Morty did. He ended up fucking this thing, thinking it was just a normal robot, and it gave birth. So, yeah,
Rambo, onto you.
so lethal. Onto your point, was Jesus not a real child?
ooh,
Oh, you about to get us
fuck,
canceled.
fuck.
All right, hang on.
So,
I want to say one thing. I want to say one thing. I have to go get a beer, and I have brought my hot topic to throw at your guys' face after we listen. Okay,
You should drop it now
the
because I think
immaculate,
the episode kind of learned about
the
stuff.
immaculate conception. Isn't that the terminology?
Yeah, immaculate
The
conception.
immaculate
Yeah.
conception. All right. Before I pause and go grab this, was it not a fucking alien? Let me go do something real quick.
and that's the same question that started this whole conversation. Was it a
Was it
vagina?
not
Was
a
it a
fucking
child?
alien?
There was no
Well,
vagina. There was no child.
There was a
Aliens.
child.
all right. So literally on the same topic, there was no penis. So was Jesus not a child?
Ooh, got you again.
But probably not. So you know who the right question, and this is what I'm trying to put it like. Put yourself in the shoes. Answer the question as you are Joseph.
I did, and that's what I said about Gazorpazum. Like, yeah, it's a
Yeah,
child.
no, Joseph was not. Hey man, they might have written about him real nice, but there's no way Joseph is like, yeah, this is my child.
That's exactly what he
Well,
did.
like, but you're still viewing it through one person's lens. I'm thinking of the macro. Like, I'm not talking about Joseph. Was Jesus not a child? Same way Gazorpazorp to me is a child. Same way Jesus was a child. Like, it
And
doesn't matter.
what I'm saying is that if you were Morty, you might not feel that way.
And I'm not Morty, and nor will I ever be. Like,
But
so,
Morty did see him as a child.
Yeah,
and Morty did.
Morty slept. That's such a Morty thing
and
to do.
and we don't know about Joseph. Like after a while, he disappeared.
Yeah, why do you think that is?
Just I do.
Yeah, he's like, this is not my fucking problem. Like, you know what?
What do I
Like,
know?
This guy.
this is not my problem. I had nothing to
Well,
do
Talking
with
about
also
this.
philosophy.
at the same point, by the way, of Rick and Morty, have you guys caught on that new spin-off show that they have, the President Curtis? Yeah. So apparently, I think the first episode dropped. I haven't checked it out. I actually have it on queue to check it out. But yeah, President Curtis is like a new series. They're basically doing the Cleveland show of Family Guy on Rick and Morty with President Curtis.
I did
It's the
not know that.
president from Rick and Morty.
The new season of King of the Hill just dropped. It might have been
Oh
today.
yeah,
I just saw it on Hulu, and I was like, "Wait, what?" Like, so I'm about to start that when we get off. But
yeah.
yeah,
I are you guys caught up on X Men also? X Men
I
97.
just I just watched the new episode before we started recording.
I feel like the dial's been turning up.
I'm not as huge of a fan of this season as I am of the last. Like the end scene of this one is like, oh yeah, but like the episode was like, oh okay,
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like it was more like the first season was so nostalgic to see again that
right.
it holds, yeah, it like holds a very fine like part. But I'm enjoying this second season of it. It's really good. I'm watching that. I hope to see that. And for all you anime lovers, Bleach in 3 days, final season.
Is that it
This
drops
this is
finally?
Yeah, it drops. This is the final part, Rambo. I know Rambo is not a fan of Bleach's what's it called, progression level, but
Should I give
gotta
my
be
take? Should I give my take?
no. Let's save it for next. When I watch this first episode, let me see the first episode first.
All right, you guys ready for my crazy topic I brought?
Oh God,
What do you have?
Epstein's Island.
Oh shit!
Hampton, Sopranos,
Take us off the air.
Sopranos, Sopranos.
You ready? All right.
Wait. Sopranos first.
Yeah, Mandy, stop recording.
Are you guys serious?
I'm being
Yeah.
serious.
We've been
Yeah.
going for 2 hours. We've been going for 2 hours.
Are we wrapping up?
Especially before this topic. Yeah,
I think
yeah,
you
we're done
scared
with
them.
them.